Hi, I'm TK. In this video I wanted to show you how I go about improving the interiors of my MDF buildings. So I got a few sci-fi buildings from Antenociti's workshop quite recently. I've been building them. They look really good, they're pre-painted, but they're a bit flat. The interiors are just kind of boxy rooms, and there are some upgrade kits that they provide. I wanted to show you how I've been using bits and bobs I've collected through the years to add some detail and like a bit of narrative to them. I've added a few things to the exterior like the graffiti and fan, and I'll give it some weathering in a future video as well, but in this video I'm going to concentrate on how I did the interiors of the building. I've already done the ground floor apartment, so I'll show you my process with the second one. I've decided that for the second apartment of the building I'm going to have the occupant be an arms dealer, so I've picked out a few things from my bits collection, some of which I've painted, some of which I haven't, which I think fit in with the theme. So we have like a weapons locker here, gun crate with some guns in it, sofa, little seat, chair for the table, which is where he'll be working on his bits and bobs, cleaning weapons and such. Single bed, he's a lonely man. Computer panel, also from Antenociti's workshop, which will just be on the wall. Printed off some newspapers from the internet. Really tiny little newspapers to fit in with the scale. This is a poster which came from one of the Antenociti workshop buildings. It was a spare one. I'd already used some posters on that building. Had these knocking around, so I thought I'd use one here. Flick that across. A couple of weapons from 40k, so we've got bolt gun, rocket launcher, dagger, some other bits and bobs which were given to me by a friend. Just I don't know, a little PDA or something. A little crate of ammo, and some other old Antenociti's workshop crates, which I think look like ammo crates or something like it. So I'm going to paint up these unpainted items now. I won't show this on video, I'll just get to it. And then once it's all done, I will go through how I'm deciding where they go in the apartment, and I'll just kind of glue it all together and show you which glues I'm using and any techniques if I'm using any particular techniques. So I'm thinking this is a single man. He isn't interested in his sleeping conditions. He's turned this whole apartment into a shop essentially. So I'm going to have the bed just kind of shoved in the corner out of the way to make as much space as possible for his other items. This is resin, so I'm going to use my super glue. I like to use the Gorilla super glue. It's very strong and it sets quite quickly. I don't have any wardrobe models or anything like that, but I do have a set of lockers which I got from Spartan Games, I think, back when they used to do 28mm scenery. These are really great if you can find it on eBay or anything, get a hold of them. Really solid resin, nice crisp details, paint it really well. I'm using these as wardrobes essentially, even though they're meant to be lockers. Okay, I put out some of my Gorilla wood glue here, which is essentially PVA. So I'm going to do my wooden stuff now before it dries. So grab your spatula, get your wooden bits. This is a foreground sci-fi scenery set. You get loads and loads of pieces in the kit for not very much money. Really good for your sci-fi detailing. Easy to put together. Not particularly detailed kits, it's just, you know, silver table. But when you add on things on top of the table, it really works. I'll show you that in a minute. So this is where he's working on repairing his illegally got weapons. Illegally acquired, I should say. So this is his workstation. So it's going in front of the window so we can get as much light as possible. So you can see what he's doing. I like to think about things like that when I'm making these, when I'm doing the interiors and such, or even when I'm just painting a model. If I think about what is going on in the head of the character, in this case the character that lives in this apartment, then it helps me decide where to put things, and hopefully they end up in a kind of logical order, and it looks better in the game itself when you're playing. Right, I've got this poster, so I'm going to put that by his bed. And I like to put these posters at a kind of jaunty angle, even though in real life you'd probably try and make it as straight as possible. I feel like it gives it a bit more of a lived in character, and they're kind of plastered haphazardly around the room. It's just one of those kind of larger than life caricature type things where we like to do with our miniatures. Okay, that looks good. Finally, I've got some of these little newspapers which are printed off. I was thinking I was just going to put these on the table, kind of scattered around. Maybe he uses them to like keep his table clean from oil spillages and that sort of thing. So he's not reading them, they're just going to be thrown around the place. So I've got that watered down the PVA bit here. Alright, newspapers are all glued down. I did use a bit of the PVA over the top of them as well, just to keep them held down in the position. So where, like an overhang on the edge of the table, use a bit of PVA on the edge. It helps keep them stuck down. Alright, let's put the sofa down. Once again, I've kind of shoved this in the corner. So on this little seat here, idea being that the living conditions of his apartment are secondary to him maintaining and selling weapons. And I've got to think about gaming purposes as well, so if I'm doing a skirmish game, I've got a model in here. I'd like to be able to use some of this as cover, so it's not quite enough space. Push this back a bit. There we go. So now models can use the little couch thing here. There's a bit of cover from people coming in through the front door. I really don't need as much glue as I've put on here. So when you're doing it, don't do this. With the Gorilla Glue, you only really need a couple of drops of the stuff. It is really, really strong. Alright, so I painted up this little greeble. See that there? A little scanner thing, so I reckon he's a black market dealer selling his guns illegally, so he needs to keep on the alert for any law enforcement, so he has this on his workstation. Informs him of when the fuzz are coming. And this little bolt gun is going to be a gun that he's currently working on. Maybe he's maintaining it, repairing it, not sure. A supply crate, probably full of guns. We'll have this kind of corner of the apartment here where he keeps all his supplies, all his weapons to sell. So as you can see, this isn't taking very long to do all this stuff. I'm painting these models, really simple paint jobs. Each one took like less than 5 minutes. Building the little foreground stuff also only took a couple of minutes at most. So all this interior doesn't take a long time to make. Gluing it down is also pretty quick. And it adds a lot to your games, adds a lot to your scenery as well. Without a huge amount of effort, you don't have to do some amazing paint jobs on any of it. This stuff is pre-painted. There's a lot of companies which do pre-painted scenery. Just gonna whack these resin elements around the place, and you really make it look like a kind of lived-in world. Finally, little computer panel. So just need to find a clear bit of wall. This one over here. That'll look nice for that. Right, there we have it.